Blast from the grassroots, connecting people and sharing ideas.
Good morning and welcome back. This is Grace.
This is Arlene.
Christmas is coming up soon and the school holidays are coming up. Everyone is planning to have travel plan around Malaysia or outside of Malaysia.
Even ourselves, we are planning for vacations.
Yes, definitely. We have a speaker here. Her name is Hanim and she's a founder of Tetamoo. Hello, good morning.
Hi, morning, Grace.
How are you?
Fine, thanks.
All right. So we're going to talk about your company. And then also, could you give us brief background of yourself as well?
Okay. I'm actually sort of like a veteran in the tourism industry.
Mm-hmm. How long have you been in this industry?
Roughly about 15 years.
Wow.
With both an online hotel reservation provider as well as one of Malaysia's major travel retailers. So pretty much Tetamoo came from my own experience in the tourism industry. One of the major problems I faced when I was in the industry is the fact that it's so difficult to design products or experiences that would satisfy travelers. You know, you've got travelers who are looking for very niche experiences. They're into ecotourism. Some of them are looking for more of a cultural immersion. So it's very difficult as a travel provider to meet these expectations. So this is where Tetamoo comes in. What we have discovered is that the local communities have got the knowledge, they have the passion, as well as the capacity to host travelers. So why not give them a chance, put them online on our portal, and we pretty much help them design and market these experiences to the global travelers.
Does it mean that you have been collaborating with the local travel guides to your company?
Yes, we wanted to do that in the first place, actually, when we first started Tetamoo, but due to some regulations when it comes to tour guides, it was not possible. So we pivoted, and we are actually going directly to the local communities.
So before we going a bit further on to talk about more about the Tetamoo, what does Tetamoo mean for our listeners who are not from Malaysia?
Well, it's quite funny because we're looking for something that is can be easily remembered and recognizable. And it came to a flash, actually. We were talking about it. My co-founder, Faith, and I were talking about a few names. And we came up, okay, let's make it simple, make it related to the tourism industry. And we came up with the word Tetamoo, which actually means guest in Bahasa Malaysia. It's all about being hospitable, a local host, having people over to their house and staying with them, experiencing their lifestyle. So that's how Tetamoo came up.
I was interested with, the first time I go to the website, which is tetamoo.com. I was really impressed. And the first thing that came to my mind was, this is like something like a localized version of couch surfing, but better because you really want to connect the local community with backpackers and those who are seeking for authentic experience when traveling to countries like Malaysia.
Yes, correct. Because you can actually, a lot of people have referred us being similar to Airbnb, which is something like couch surfing, but it's actually staying in a local's a house or apartment and so on. But we are taking it a bit further. You don't just stay in the house. You actually become a part of the local family's daily life. You get to enjoy what they do. For example, we are offering a stay in a fishing village in Terengganu. It's not easy for you if you're just a stranger going to that village saying, hey, can I stay with you? I mean, they don't know you. I mean, there's always the issue of being a stranger, safety and security, right? So we are here to minimize that risk. We vouch. We actually have a verification process for local hosts. We make sure they are legit. So travelers have that sense of, if I were to book with Tetamoo, I don't have to worry about that. I can actually just go there pay a little bit of money directly to the local host, and I can actually enjoy something different.
So, what kind of local hosts that usually people would be expecting as part of Tetamoo's?
How about what are the requirements for Tetamoo to have a local host?
Okay, anybody can actually be our local host, even you, Grace or Arlene, if you got something special to share. For example, I've got a lady. She's a photographer in Batu Pahat. Photography is her passion. She loves photography, but she can't make, she can't exist on being a photographer. She actually has a full-time job. But on weekends, she's actually offering a 2 days, 1 night stay in Batu Pahat, her hometown, where she not only will take you around her places, the places that where she likes, like her favorite food and all that, but also learn a little bit of photography techniques. So it's an experience that you can't get anywhere else.
And how do you do the matchmaking?
We actually... Well, there's a technology bit behind it,
I give example. Let's say I want to go to Terengganu and I'm looking for something comfortable, yet I want to live in somewhere that is in the village or nearby the village. How do you have like a form where they can fill in online, or do you have face-to-face interview or something?
For travelers, they can actually, if they can't find what they're looking for on our website, they can actually send us an inquiry. We do have a form that will be asking, okay, what is your interest, how long you're staying, do you require accommodation, and so on and so forth. So this is what we call the personalization bit. This is an extra, help that we're giving to travelers. It's free of charge. They don't need to pay us anything. We're just going to because at the end of the day, it benefits us as well, because we know what you want. So at the end of the day, we can look for all these suppliers and the local hosts that will meet your requirement.
Of course, and then that way you guys will learn or expect from your clients what they need in the future. So in the future, if there are clients coming in the future, then you know what to expect already.
Correct, yes.
What's the weirdest requirements or requests by your clients?
Actually, quite recently, as far back as last week, I've got a request asking for this guy from, if I'm not mistaken, from Queensland. He's coming down to Malaysia, and he said, "Hey, can you guys arrange for swimming with the dugong?"
Swimming with dugong?
Yeah, dugong.
In Malaysia?
In Malaysia. So we're like, okay.
Probably like 99% of Malaysians never even seen a dugong
Exactly.
before.
I mean, I haven't seen one, and I'm okay. Is there one? Maybe there is. Let me find out.
Oh, you were still kind to actually look for dugong for him.
Exactly. That's what we do, because since we're still very young, we're still a startup. So this is the extra thing that you can expect from us. Ask us the serious questions. We'll try to give you the answers.
So how did it turn out after all?
Well, the thing is, unfortunately, there's no one offering a swim with a dugong, but it's actually gave me an idea. Hey, why not? We offer it. Maybe next year we'll try to find someone that can, provide that experience.
It's funny because I actually saw dugong once, but it was in an aquarium, a really large aquarium in Indonesia. So I'm not sure whether in Malaysia we have that kind of.
Exactly.
Probably you can just purchase the replica of dugong, maybe a doll or something, just floating on the pool, and then just have fun with it.
Exactly. It was like, but it was quite fun. I mean, it was actually quite interesting. Also, so weird, requests.
But what are the other really interesting feedback that you got from your clients regarding on their personalized experience with the local community?
The thing is, what they like about it is the fact that it's easy for them to get connected with the locals. All this while they've been on a bus, they're saying they're not sure how to get connected with the locals. They don't even talk to the locals sometimes, because they just talk to the tour guide.
Of course, the language barrier as well.
Correct, yes, exactly. And that is something that we're working on, because we don't only help the travelers, we also want to help the local communities. We are thinking of actually organizing something informal in terms of giving them some communication skill training, maybe a bit of basic English, just basic communication English.
I think that's very necessary to be
Yeah.
able to guide travelers in the right directions.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
But
then
how do you
those-
preserve that authentic environment for travelers? Because as we see in certain countries, especially in third world countries, when the country becomes, out of a sudden becomes a hub for tourism, the whole community suddenly have changed in terms of their attitudes. You see communities that were always generous and kind change to a community that is money driven, which you do not want to experience that, especially if you are a backpacker. You just want to enjoy the authentic feeling.
Correct. It is actually a challenge, believe me, because I think what is important now is actually for Malaysians, for example, to act tourism and think tourism, which we are not. Most of us look at tourism as not a viable source of income, which it can be. So I think at the end of the day, it's all about money. If you can actually convince, let's say, the local communities, hey, you got to preserve your heritage. You got to look after your cultural component, preserve it, because it can bring you, pretty good revenue, pretty good income, then that may convince them. This is what we went through. Because what we did was to actually talk face-to-face to the local communities, find out what are the challenges that they're facing. Obviously, it's money. They need to improve their livelihood, obviously. And if this is something that, they don't need to create anything. They don't need to build anything. They already have it. It's part of their lifestyle. It's
You
part
just
of
need
their
to
livelihood.
find a dugong and swim in it.
Correct. Yeah, exactly. There might be a dugong in the river next to their, let's say, their village, right?
Actually, that's the kind of issue that sometimes we are facing in Malaysia, especially we are transiting into a more developed, although we are already developed, but we are moving towards a materially developed nation, which it can be harmful in a way that when we think about tourism, we only think about building hotels, building physical materials that may not reflect our culture and heritage. So when you approach local communities, what are their concerns that they usually voice out to you?
Is it something sustainable? Is it something that can actually improve their livelihood? That is their main concern. It's not so much as not being knowledgeable or not being passionate about the experiences that they're offering. It's something that what I encounter mostly, there are hardly any young people in the villages, which is quite a common problem, right? I mean, they're all here in the cities. So you are left with the senior citizens, elderly people. The problem is their knowledge is so fascinating. They can tell you stories about what happened, during the Japanese occupation, the World War II, all the heritage, the culture. Last week, I went to Kuala Terengganu. I found that, the chengal wood, the chips can actually be used to not cure, but stabilize blood sugar level.
Really?
It's actually good for people who are diabetic. And I'm like, oh, okay, I did not know that, So
Not many people know that.
exactly, I was surprised. So every time I travel through rural Malaysia, I learn a lot of things. And these are the things that I think travelers would be interested in. They come to Malaysia not to go to the theme parks. They've got better ones, let's say, Warner Brothers in Australia. Right?
Yeah.
They don't come here for a theme park experience. They come here to get to know Malaysians.
When we talk about Johor culture, of course, the first thing we would think about kuda kepang, but I think there would be more than just kuda kepang.
Exactly. The funny thing is somebody actually asked us about the kuda kepang experience because they said, I can't find, where do I go to experience kuda kepang performance? You don't have it anywhere. Can you? I don't think you can.
The only place probably they have is Aswara.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's also university.
So you've got people asking me that, and this is actually from a Singaporean, just our close, our neighbor. So he said, Hanim, I can't find a kuda kepang performance. I would love to go and, sort of experience the performance. I want to get to know these people. I mean, this is something very unique. They can't. So what do we do about it? This is what I'm saying. Working with the local communities, you not only gain so much from them, you can actually share, different thoughts, different opinions about how to preserve their culture and heritage. It's how we engage with each other.
One example came in my mind while I was listening to your experiences. It was Malacca, because I'm not local. I'm from Korea as well. Been here for some time, and then surely enough that I love to explore myself into more localized culture and people as well as language itself. And I believe Malacca is very famous for its own preserved culture and the people and food as well. That's where a lot of travelers do find, look for the places and to go to Malacca. But at the same time, I believe that it's very commercialized.
Yes.
So like Arlene mentioned that some places are very money-driven places and very commercialized. That people that's one of the attraction points that people go to. But at the same time, personally, I still want to explore the other parts of Malacca, but I just don't know where to start.
Correct. Yes.
That's true. I mean, I give example because I went to the Chetty community. It's a unique fusion community in Malacca where they are Indian, but they have some Malay heritage in them. But one thing that struck to my mind is they are such a unique community with a blend, because they live next to a Baba Nyonya community as well. So they have this unique blend of Malay, Chinese, and Indian. But at the same time, next to them is a developmental project for a hotel that is undergoing, and they can't do anything about it. And when people pass by that particular road, they just have a glance and then they just move forward. They don't even know like there's a fusion community next door. And it's very sad because when people go to places like Malacca, they want to experience that unique feeling of being part of these fusion communities.
Yeah. That's one of the things that we want to highlight. It's what Tetamoo wants to do is to make it easier for you, Arlene, for example, to find these experiences. Go behind the door, open up opportunities not just for the locals but for the travelers to discover new things. Like I said, there's so many things to discover in Malaysia. It's out there. It's just how do we put it all under one roof and make it accessible.
Exactly. And Malaysia is a very interesting country. Well, there is, like, in terms of ethnics, you can have Malay, Chinese, and Indian, and also line.
Yeah, there's so many. Yeah. It's like, even for the Malay communities, they're like different.
Yeah, exactly.
Sub-communities under their different languages.
Different ethnic groups.
And where I can totally agree with you, Hanim, where you just shared that all those elderly people who are still living in all those villages, they have a great knowledge, great experiences. They are the really true life examples and all this history that I have, and we can just go and talk to them. But then I believe Tetamoo already set the bridge for us to actually connect to local people.
Correct.
Then.
I've got a friend whose daughter has not even seen a live chicken. So he said, Hanim, is there a farm experience that I can,
Oh no, that's really sad.
Yeah, he said, because they're like born here in KL, they don't have a kampong or a village, a hometown to go to. So the only chicken they see is on the supermarket shelves. So, Hanim, is there a farm experience? And they say, okay, I'll work on it, because there's actually a farm in Kelantan, Gua Musang area. We're working on developing an experience where you can actually stay there. It's an actual farm, beautiful place.
Chicken farm.
They've got chicken, goats, and all that. So it's actually a working farm. It's not like a demo farm, or sometimes you go to a park, it's just someone just doing a bit of demo. This is actually a working farm. You should check out Tetamoo. We are actually offering a homestay experience in Selakan. Beautiful place. It's actually somewhere in Lahadatu, Sempurna. It's safe, don't worry. It's totally safe there. And what the best thing is, this is actually pretty much built by the local people.
The Bajau Laut.
The Bajau Laut, yes. And they are offering, it's actually the homestay is actually on the water itself. So it's pretty much experiencing what they actually, their livelihood, their lifestyle.
Yeah, I mean, I would rather stay on the sea with this Bajau Laut community than actually stay in an artificial made.
Isn't it? Yeah. But like I said, it's
Resort.
not for everybody because it's for very basic. You can't expect luxury, any sort of luxury because that's not their lifestyle, obviously. So when you go there, it's exactly as if you were a Bajau Laut resident.
What about
Yeah.
you, Grace?
I'm
Which
actually
local
looking at
area?
the picture
The
that you
picture.
mentioned. It looks actually very beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
And then how
check
they
it out.
built, just above that sea or
Correct.
river. It's so beautiful.
And
And
the
then
kids are like natural swimmers.
yeah,
You'll be
definitely.
surprised. Yeah, I'm actually thinking of going there myself because as a founder, sometimes you need to experience what you're promoting. So I'm probably going to go there next year. I'm keeping an eye out on that. But what I like about it is we are helping them preserve their heritage. This is a way for them to generate revenue to sustain their lifestyle. And it's not expensive. And what you get is that you can actually talk, just chill out with the children. If you were to go there, don't forget to bring something. They just require the most basic things like pencils. They'll be happy, or candies or whatever.
Oh, how sweet.
So it's something that we take for granted, but not for these kids.
Something that we can just get things here very easily.
Yeah,
It's
so-
something else to them, very precious things.
Exactly.
It's really beautiful. But then what are the requirements for travelers to go into that kind of places?
Yeah, do you have any guidelines?
I mean, I already
Yeah.
seen the schedule there, but other than that?
It's pretty much because it's hosted, so you travelers they don't need to worry from the moment they arrive. Let's say at the airport, the host there'll be a guide, or we call it a local host. That'll be with them every step of the way.
And then do you have a minimum or a maximum number of people that you
Yes, we do. It all depends on the local host. They will tell us exactly. Let's say I can take on up to 10 packs per day or a minimum of 2. So it depends on the local host. So these are
So
part
it's a
of the
bit like
requirements.
couch surfing in a way. when
In
it
a
comes
way,
to-
yes. In Marapo, Pahang.
Can you share more? What are the other places, unique places in Malaysia that you think backpackers and travelers should experience through Tetamoo?
We want to. One case in point is actually Lembah Bujang. I'm a history buff. I love all this.
I went to Lembah Bujang because my dad is from Kedah.
Oh, is it? Okay, so
So
you
I
know.
went to the archaeological site. I was really amazed. by it.
Isn't it? So
But it's like nobody's there.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
that's the thing.
Where are the tourists? Where are the locals?
Oh,
Yeah.
I see.
The funny thing is, I'm trying to find a way to go to Lembah Bujang to actually experience, what they have there. But it's so difficult. No one is actually offering it. I'm
And the
like,
only highlight which was either this year or last year, I can't remember, where one of the tombs
they destroyed it or
was
something.
destroyed.
Yeah,
Which is
exactly.
really sad because it was
Why was it destroyed?
it was destroyed for development.
Oh, that's really sad.
It's really sad because apparently, Lembah Bujang, I mean the Sriwijaya, is it? If I'm not mistaken?
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, yeah.
The kingdom is more than just Lembah Bujang, although the place is concentrated there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, as a history buff, I feel strongly about preserving this the Lembah Bujang area because I felt what else can you find? It's just the tip of the iceberg. You only see the tombs.
And it's funny, when I think each state should promote, what's unique about their state.
Yeah.
Of course.
When Kedah, I don't see any of the Kedah's tourism guide that actually say you should go to Lembah Bujang.
Exactly.
Not at all.
No. I've
Maybe
been trying.
Langkawi, yes, but Lembah Bujang, no.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, can you imagine the people? There are so many people who travel to all these historical places, So why can't we promote Lembah Bujang? Do something about it. You're gonna get tons of people dying to go to Lembah Bujang and experience and find out about, its history and its heritage and so on.
What are the other places that you would recommend?
I would probably recommend Perlis.
Perlis.
Perlis is least known state in Malaysia. Nobody goes there actually. I mean, it's not a tourist attraction, but you'll be surprised.
What would you expect from their place?
The thing is, since there's a little bit isolated. So in terms of the local experience, you can still have a very authentic village experience. You know, you've got people who talk in different languages.
Oh, I see.
Even I don't even understand it because
You
it's
mean
a
in
mix.
Malay,
In
or?
Malay, it's a mix with Siam. You know, so it's very, very interesting. It's different from the rest of the of Malaysia, actually. So I feel that Perlis should be given a bit of
Opportunity for them
yes, to
yeah.
shine and promote.
Yeah.
Very unique culture. It's a mixture of Malay and Thai. And it's amazing just how hospitable they can be, because I went there, I think sometime last year. Different kind of food. Like I said, in terms of being hospitable, I think the village that I visited was one of the better experiences that I ever had in any Malaysian destination. Yeah, because I guess they're just so eager to share.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, now we are coming till the end of session. But before we end, where can people find information or pictures
definitely.
or videos?
We are on Facebook, obviously. Tetamoo Homestay is our Facebook page. Do follow us on Instagram.
Instagram as well, of course.
Because that's the easiest, because
Pictures
too
can be
lame.
described 1,000 ways.
Yeah, exactly. So we like to post a lot of pictures, especially when we travel. So that's the best thing. Follow us on Instagram. Also Tetamoo.
I hope more people can look for Tetamoo and then also travel around in Malaysia. Thank you very much. We'll be back with ABC Dialogue later on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.